Okay, we're with Paul King, who is a software consultant, an agility consultant, an author. Hello.
Hi, John.
So, a lot of people are working on, say, their kind of traditional enterprise Java projects, and they're kind of stuck with Java, not necessarily in a bad way, but they can't transition to any of these wonderful new languages that we have for the JVM. We have Groovy, we have Scala, Clojure, JRuby, Jython, all this wonderful stuff. But a lot of people are still kind of left with their Java EE environment, and they're practicing the agile development process. So let's take Groovy. How can they maybe leverage Groovy to help with their Java development?
Yeah, so from an agile point of view, anywhere where you can eliminate waste is a good thing. And a lot of teams spend a lot of time writing tests or a lot of time maintaining a huge, humongous build file that no one knows how it works and so on. So there's lots of peripheral areas that teams can start using Groovy that they don't need to get sign off and approval at the VP level to be using Groovy for prod code or whatever it might be, and they can get lots of productivity gains just writing their tests in Groovy. Initially starting to use Groovy as some glue that they call, if they're using Ant or Maven, they can just call out to Groovy in their scripts and get a whole lot of value that way. And they can even take it further for this whole build systems like Gradle these days, which take all the good ideas out of Ant and Maven, combine together, throw away a few of the bad ideas, and you get a really nice mix for if you want to convert fully over to a sort of a Groovy flavoured world. So there's lots of options there. And then you can go a little bit further. Sometimes we've even just we've gone and tried to seek approval. Can we deploy a Grails app into your organisation? No way. There's no way we're ever going to let Grails in here. And go away, come back 2 weeks later. Oh, I've got a WAR file. It happens to be the latest version of the Spring application that we're building for you. Right. Oh yeah, we'll go deploy that for you. And it happens to have Groovy and Grails jars bundled in it, but they don't really care. So there's ways to sneak it in as well into the prod code, but it tends to start out on the peripheral areas.
Okay, so this is ultimately agility and the whole agile mindset is about being pragmatic about what we do, not being so dogmatic about things, but pragmatic about things. So this fits into that kind of thinking about if we can solve a problem perhaps in a simpler way with Gradle or just plain old Groovy scripts. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, so you might something that may take you be a very, very difficult thing for you to do might either take hundreds of lines of Ant script, or it might require you to call out to Java, so you've got to write classes and work out how to package it and all sorts of things like that. Can often be replaced with 20 lines of Groovy script inside a build file. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. And also on the testing side of things, rather than trying to get testers to write JUnit class files that might be calling Selenium or whatever your favourite testing tool is, WebTest, whatever it is, get a bit of Groovy script. They're not scared off by that as by having to dive into the whole world of IDEs and getting everything installed, get their class path right, get all the right plugins. That might turn something that's heavyweight and full of ceremony into something that's light and easy and fun.
Right. So the cost of entry into these programming languages might be easier than something like even Java.
For sure.
In terms of just learning syntax and these types of things.
Yeah, so when you go and install Groovy, and the other scripting languages have got similar things. When you install Groovy, it's got a nice little Groovy console. For a DBA that you might want to run some Groovy for you on a server box, that's a huge win compared to getting them to install Eclipse and even learn about any of that stuff. They're just going to go, whoa, keep away from me. We have DBAs that are set up, install Groovy on them. We can email them a little script and say, run this on the DBA server for us because we don't have permissions to get on that box. They do. They can run this little script. They don't need any other plugins installed. They don't need any libraries installed. It'll just download whatever its dependencies that are required, runs the scripts, gets some output. They email it back to us. Sweet. We know exactly what's going on that server box. Whether it be could be a firewall in the way. There could be some overnight process that didn't work, and sometimes because we can't get on the box, it's really hard to get feedback. But this has opened up much more effective ways to work with people. Just
right. So it's a simple tool to use, but at the same time, you actually have the power of a full programming language available to you.
Yeah, so it's Java under the covers, all the Java
right.
libraries,
but
the whole
even Groovy
ecosystem.
itself is a full programming language.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So what about, that's kind of the development and testing side of things. What about the acceptance testing part of the Agile process?
Well,
Is there anything we can do there?
Oh, there's a great story there for in the Groovy ecosystem. In fact, the whole acceptance test area there's a blossoming lot of solutions in the open source space. It's really welcome relief to someone who's played with some of the big vendor tools. Some of them are good, but some of them are very clunky, very expensive, and just tend to be a little bit slow on the uptake of new technologies. So when you want to use some of this open source stuff, there's a whole lot of good solutions out there now. So one of the things that we've done is use Groovy as a testing DSL in probably 15 customers now, and very different circumstances for each one. Some are using web tests, some are using Cucumber, some are using Selenium, WebDriver. So all different options, but they're using Groovy as a testing DSL, and that's taken them huge steps forward from where they were. So lots of good fun.
Right. So as we said in the offset, just because you can't, you're stuck with Java, so to speak, for your main application development, there's no reason we can't play with some of these other tools and build skills in these other languages.
For sure, yeah. So you can be becoming a bit of a Groovy guru without ever having to have Groovy in the prod environment for the time being, yeah. If you're stuck somewhere where you can't get past that.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.